going on, good people? Welcome back to Cook It Up with Chris. So today, I'm Chris, but today we're gonna make us some apple tarts. So let's get started. Not apple tarts. Today we're gonna make some apple streusel desserts. Now let's do that. So of course, with any apple dessert, you gotta start with apples. So let's get these babies peeled first. All right, so it's time for the next step. Once I get my knife, where's my knife? That's not a knife. This is a knife. All right, so my next step is going to be slice these apples up. I got me a stick of butter over here in the skillet. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that on some medium heat, get that melting. While that's going, we're just gonna slice these apples up. So of course, cutting around that core. So cutting ends, and then we're gonna cut the side. Of course, you could do you some nibbling on that. Delicious and healthy. And so we're gonna cut these a little thinner, but we're gonna keep them thick. That way they still got a nice bite to them when you're biting to them. And we peeled them because the peels don't have the best texture. It'll be too different from the crunch of the apples if we didn't peel the skins off beforehand. And so me, myself, I always cook my desserts beforehand. So if I was doing a peach cobbler or cooking with apples or cherries, I always cook it on the stove and then add it to the crust or whatnot, rather than putting it into the crust and having to take longer time to cook. I just cook it on the stove, then you only got like 10 to 20 minutes for it to have to be in the oven, just basically for the crust to cook. So I'm gonna finish cutting these apples up and we'll come back. All right, so we got these apples all sliced up. I'm gonna get these babies into a bowl. These cores out the way. All right, so now this stick of butter has melted. So there we go. I'm gonna go into this stick of butter with a whole cup of brown sugar. That's happening. I remember those lemons I had when I made that chicken for breakfast. I'm gonna go with the juice of a whole lemon into these apples. Now this is gonna help the apples to keep from browning while they sit over here on the sideline. And it's also gonna help to balance with this sugar over in this thing while it's cooking. Nope, no need for the zest in here, just juice. Juice of one whole lemon. Ooh, and these ones are good and juicy. And we're just gonna toss these babies. Make sure they all get coated in some of that bitter tarty. Oh, that's one to the trash. Let this brown sugar melt on down into this butter. Gonna give it a little teaspoon of some vanilla extract. As well as a pinch of salt. And this is the base for my apple pie and my peach cobbler. You got your butter, your brown sugar, a little salt, a little vanilla extract. And so we're gonna go in with these apples now. So of course you're gonna get the juice from the apples, and we're gonna go over top of the apples with some cinnamon. We're just gonna mix it up, and we're gonna let these babies cook down for about probably 10-12 minutes. All right, so let's go ahead, start the streusel topping. Don't forget about your apples over here cooking down. It's been about 3-4 minutes so far. I'm gonna let y'all see what I meant by the juices of the apple. Let's come over here and look at this. You can see all that juice down in there coming from the apples, and it's just gonna continue to cook down and add more juice to it. So we're gonna let those babies keep cooking, and we're gonna be over here. All right, so right here I got a half a stick of butter softened. To that, I'm gonna add 1 cup of flour, half a cup of sugar, that's a pinch of salt. Salt just brings out the flavor and everything. And then about a tablespoon or so of cinnamon. Or a teaspoon or so, maybe a tablespoon. However much cinnamon you like. And now, all we're gonna do is mix. We're gonna mix the ingredients. You're gonna use that stick of butter. We're gonna crush it into everything. So, your streusel topping is ready. It looks solid, but it's so easily broken. Just like somebody's life. Alright, so that's ready. Our apples probably still got another 5 to 7 minutes to cook down, and we'll come back. Alright, so while the apples are wrapping up, I got my little ramekins here, and a stick of butter. And all I'm doing, I got a little water on this sheet tray. I'm just gonna rub this ramekin down in some butter, more flavor, and a little bit of non-stick here. Boom. So now that my apples are at this point, I am just going to sift in about a tablespoon of cornstarch as a thickening agent. That's it, about a tablespoon. It's going to thicken up those juices. Because you got all the flavor you need. Your apples are tender. It's been probably about 20 minutes or so. So we're just going to continue sifting that in. See it's thickening up already. Alright, turn the heat off. You see how you can see the bottom of the skillet when you move now? It's thickening up. And we're going straight from the skillets into our ramekins. Scooping and laying. I'm gonna go back and forth between all of them just to make sure they get an even amount in them. Skillet can get heavy on your hand. So we're gonna use all these juices. So pick that baby back up. Get those juices into these ramekins. was already cooked about 20 minutes on stovetop. Now we're gonna take our streusel, however you want to do it. If you just want to sprinkle it over, or if you want to actually make some crumbles, some chunks of crumbles to put on, you can do that as well. I'm going to cover the top of the entire top. And boom. So now these babies are going to go into a 350-degree oven just for about 10 to 15 minutes. That's it. I know y'all see me dropping all these crumbs in the bottom of the pan. It doesn't matter. It's not going to burn because it's in the water. Alright, so let's get that baby in. And we'll come back in about 12-15 minutes. Alright, so our baking time is up. Just giving it a few seconds under the broiler just for some color. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm gonna turn that off. Pour these beans. Ooh, that's heavy. Alright, here we have our apple streusels. I'm gonna let it cool off about 5-10 minutes and we'll break into one of them bad boys. Alright, so let's dig into this baby. I choose you. Let's look at this baby. Alright, so here we go. You can see those lovely juices pooling on the side right there. That's the crusty streusel. Let's dig in. Oh, that looks delicious. Let's see what we tasting like. Oh, a little bit of heaven. Y'all enjoy them.